Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, people, and welcome to episode 295 of Film Bastards. I am one of your co-hosts, Matt Foster, and as ever, I am joined by...
Becky. Hello, everybody.
And...
Ian Loring.
If you would like to know why these two are giggling, then you can know. It will cost you... How much is it? Is it $2 a month?
It's
$3
$2
a month?
It's $2 a month.
$2 a month, and you can find out why these two are laughing heartily at me. Because our patron listeners, they get the behind the scenes, the BTS, as they would call it, of Film Bastards. And so that's why these two are laughing at me, which seems to be a bit of a theme. So what have we got this week, guys? We have a double review show. We weren't actually going to do a double review show. We were just going to do us, and then we were going to do a normal show. And then Ian messaged us and said that he just watched, or he was actually only halfway into it, I think, Under Silver Lake.
Something like that, yeah.
And was really enjoying it. And I actually said as well, he specifically said, you'll really like this thing. So, do you know what? Yeah, I'd quite like to give that a go. So we decided we'll do that. Why not do it as it's available on Movie and it's in cinemas? Why don't we do that as a feature review? So we have a review of Jordan Peele's latest film, Us, and we have a review of Under Silver Lake, which is directed by John David Mitchell. Is that right?
David Robert Mitchell.
David Robert Mitchell. I got some of the names right in an order. And he was the director of It Follows, which I think that none of us actually got on with that well. So that could be quite an interesting review. We do have a couple of what have been watches from each, I think, and some trailers, tangents probably. And we've got some solid questions this week. So has anything happened in movie news? The Fox and Disney takeover has happened, or the Disney Fox takeover has happened. And they've already got rid of Fox 2000, haven't they?
Which, probably unpopular opinion time. Looking at their output, they ain't exactly Fox Searchlight.
Yes, well, that's absolutely what you'd read. And I think a lot of people do actually seem to think that I think a lot of people get confused with whether or not they are Fox Searchlight, because, like you say, Ian, there's not actually that much output. There's been some good films within there, but I don't think those films would have not been made or not been picked up had Fox 2000 not existed. I think that they probably have got picked up by Fox Searchlight, weirdly enough.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the people who have lost their jobs, obviously. That is not great. And the fact that it seems like nobody saw this coming is a little bit of what's this a harbinger of? But I think if they were shuttering Fox Searchlight, then it would be, oh fuck. But as it is, I do think maybe people need to calm down a little bit. Like, I don't necessarily think the Disney Fox merger is the best thing in the world, but I also don't think it's been delivered from Satan. And it seems like it was 43 films in 16 years or something like that this subdivision was putting out.
It's not as prolific as you'd imagine, is it?
I mean, it's not. I mean, fuck, man, it's not even Disney shutting like Touchstone down or something like that. You know what I mean? It's I'm trying to think of like an equivalent, and I mean, shit. Paramount had like an indie label once upon a time, Paramount Vantage, which put out No Country for Old Men, and they shuttered that. And I think it's less impactful than that even, and I don't think anyone really remembers Paramount Vantage anymore. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see how the land lies in 6 months, a year.
It's one of those you can't be up in arms and say, oh, Disney evil, what they're going to do to all of our things, when literally you're constantly celebrating, look at what amazing things are happening with Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah, quite.
They've taken things over and not done too bad with them. I know that they've kind of said, that after Dark Phoenix, the X-Men universe will start to be rebooted and refranchised and might even come into the MCU. They've already said that Deadpool is going to remain of itself and to one side. And so it's a bit like see what they do. But there are a few kind of minor concerns, or for Ian, major concerns, in the sense that iTunes don't do 4K. Disney don't do 4K on iTunes. So will Fox's library cease to exist on 4K on there? Also, as well, Disney and Touchstone, etc., their owned properties, they currently don't allow them to be screened as retro screenings. So things like every year, as an example, every year dozens of, hundreds of cinemas across the world, really, screen Die Hard around Christmas time. Will that be allowed to happen anymore, etc., etc., etc.? It's not been confirmed that it won't, but it would be a bit of a thing for people who've developed a tradition of going to the cinema to see things like Die Hard. And retro screens are something I think we spoke about a few times on here that we'd all probably like to go to more. I know I would like to go to them more. I do. It's always quite it's a normal thrill going to see.
It's a treat, isn't it? Seeing something you've watched at home for donkey's years and then getting to see it on the big screen. It's a treat.
Yeah,
stuff that's before your time, kind of stuff. Like I'd love to see Blade Runner.
Yeah, well, one of my best cinema experiences of recent years was we've seen quite a few. One of mine was going to see Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And I went to see that during the day on a retro screening, and within sort of the opening 5 minutes was struck with a holy shit. I'm not one of these people who say that you have to see a film on the big screen to get its true approach. What is it? But I was very much of holy shit. This is something else. You know, and that is an experience. We've seen numerous things. With Taxi Driver and Apocalypse Now and
Apocalypse Now was good.
A lot of things on the big screen that obviously we were alive for, really, or old enough for. So hopefully they'll keep that going.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we'll see. It's I kind of believe Disney when they say that they do want to keep Fox its own thing, and I think the amount of films coming out of Fox will decrease, and that kind of is what it is. But I think as a label for more adult skewed offerings, then
which I think is what they're going to pitch that Fox as. It would make sense to do that, to go, right, we can, like what they used to do with Touchstone, essentially. They can treat it a little bit like that. It was a way of acquiring certain things that they wanted, whilst also acquiring a huge back catalogue that they can use for the Disney Plus system that they're releasing later on this year / next year. So yeah, I mean, there's also in news. There's an announcement being made tomorrow, I believe, by iTunes, which there's theories doing the rounds that this is going to be some kind of streaming platform service.
Yeah, it's basically they've made a load of original content. They're going to put it out there. Not really many movies yet, but there is some scuttlebutt that they might have some kind of legacy content licensed from other providers as well. But it doesn't sit from a movie's point of view. I don't think it's going to be a particularly heavy hitter.
Well, no, that's it. I mean, I was actually commenting to Becky. I think it was earlier this morning, it was last night, saying what's quite liberating about sort of these announcements for me anyway is I don't pay that much attention to them, and then wait till it's all been announced, give it 10 minutes, and then I WhatsApp Ian and say, Ian, what's all this about, and is it worth it? And then wait for him to come through all of the jargon of it all, and then he tells me whether or not it's worth it or anything like that. So that's why another reason why it's great having Ian as one of your best mates, because he will go through all of that, so I don't have to.
That's it. Tomorrow, 6:00 is when the conference is on. I'll be watching the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, and then I will...
And then you can ask me shit.
Yeah, I will literally just pick up the bullet point notes that Ian will send me throughout, and I'll go, right, okay, so I have to spend another £16 a month on this then, do I?
It's like the scuttlebutt is that they'll have some sort of bundle deal where you can get Apple Music, you can get their enhanced news thing, and you can get their streaming content for kind of like a combined price. And it's like, I've got a price in my head where I'm interested, and anything above that, and I'm out.
Yeah.
Like if I can get the magazines, if I can get like 3 magazines a month that I would like to read, on this magazine subscription thing, get my Apple Music and get some video content for £20 a month, I would do that.
Well, that's it. You know, if it came out and it was, you could get that. It's, let's say, £20 a month, and you could get a family package on the audio bit, and you could get the video content, etc., and things like that. Then it starts to become a more attractive proposition, because you could drop something like, we have Spotify Family Pack, for instance, which is $14.99 a month. So it does change up the dynamic a bit. And, you know, it depends on what the movie aspect of it is. I'm not that fucking fussed about seeing this shit, to be honest, but
No.
You know,
it depends. I mean, obviously, it depends what's included. If music is rolled up into that, obviously, you can offset Spotify against it, like you say.
Yeah. But we'll find out, and we are going to at some point within the very near future, like in the next couple of weeks, we are going to do a Patreon only show, $2 a month, people, which we'll discuss. It'll be a feature length, so it'll be about an hour and a half. Actually, that's been over 72 minutes, I think, for feature length.
Joe, I was just about to say, do you really reckon we can chat shit about this for
72 minutes? Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Where we're going to delve into how we feel streaming is at the moment, where it's going, etc., and kind of like a holistic look at it.
I do feel, though, just back to the iTunes thing for a second.
Yes.
I feel a certain element of loyalty to Spotify.
Well, I think
I've had a Spotify subscription for donkey.
Well, we've had a Spotify account since the beta. Yeah. So but fuck it. If we can get video and shit like that cheaper, then why the fuck not?
I don't know what we'd add, right? Because I did consider replacing with the Apple Music subscription. Yeah. But then it's like, well, am I just playing into Beyonce and Jay-Z's hands?
That's Tidal.
Oh, it's Tidal.
No one wants Tidal.
No one wants Tidal.
No one.
So what's the benefit of Apple Music?
It's basically just iTunes, all the iTunes stuff.
What, so Spotify?
Yeah. But it's on iTunes.
Stupid.
Cool. Trailers. What have we had this week, guys?
What have we had?
We've got a big one, haven't we?
What, Dora and the Lost City of Gold?
Well, yes. So we'll get to that one last.
Like, seriously, I watched that trailer.
We didn't.
So do you want to do that one?
Well, I'm going to have to take lots to see it, I think. It's like, there's a Dora the Explorer film, and it's live action, and she's a teenager. It just seems a bit wrong.
Is Dora the Explorer still a thing? That's just a genuine question. Is Dora the Explorer still a thing?
Lord knows. I mean, like, Lottie's kind of watched it from time to time, but I mean, it's directed by James Bobin, who did the Muppet films, or at least the first one, and he did the Alice Through the Looking Glass thing, which was actually a lot better than Alice in Wonderland.
Well, the thing is, I know when Isabel was sort of like 3-4 years old, Dora the Explorer was huge.
Yeah, she never really liked Dora though. She liked Go Diego Go.
Yeah, she did like Go Diego Go. But
Dora's cousin?
Why not? They're all.
Yeah, it's her cousin. Yeah.
But it is one of those things that is absolutely huge in America. So, for instance, like something like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, that didn't play out that well globally, but in America it did. Fucking banner numbers. Incidentally, it was a Fox 2000 picture as well.
Isabel really loved the books.
She really loved the books, yeah. And I really liked the movies. But yes, I think it's one like that. It'll do shitloads in America, and everywhere else it won't do that well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's odd.
It's being made as a cartoon.
Yeah.
Is it?
Think.
I don't know, we're a bit removed from it, having a
Yep.
nearly 15-year-old, aren't
Yeah, it's shit. I mean, it's great not having a young child. We've only got a few years left.
Also, we don't have to watch Nickelodeon anymore.
Yes. New John Wick.
I mean,
Yes.
sold, obviously.
Yeah, I'm pretty much at the point of where I don't need to see another trailer. I don't need to see more posters like that. I just want to see the film now.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to sell it to me because I'm already sold. Just show me the goddamn movie now.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't need to see a trailer at all.
No,
for it.
fine.
I'm sold off the last two.
Yeah, well, I'm sold off yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm sold off Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves in it.
Keanu Reeves in. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
boom, done.
We were talking about some random film earlier, weren't we? And you were like, you've seen it. I was like, you're going to have to remind me. Oh, it's directed by Blair and it's got Keanu Reeves in it. I was like, yep, fine. Street Kings.
Street Kings, that was it, yeah. Yeah. Of course, we're also in news, to segue again slightly back into our first show. They've announced that Bill and Ted 3 is getting made this summer and will be out next summer.
Yeah, that's exciting.
That is exciting. What else have we got trailer-wise? Becky, you just watched one earlier. We got Octavia Spencer.
We both watched it.
I kind of watched it. I went upstairs to get my iPad at one point.
Ma, have you watched that one, Ian?
Oh, the one with Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
I'm very up for watching Octavia Spencer be a fucking mental. I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
Try to be down with the kids and then just fucking them all off. I'm alright with that. I'll watch that.
Yeah, it looks like Octavia Spencer was just sat there and gone through all the scripts that she's gone. All the same. What is this? Whoa, yes.
Or like she's spoken to someone and gone, I always get like sent scripts for like really nicey characters. I want to play a dick.
Yeah. Why am I always the friend or the maid? Which that's not what is it, but that is what she usually is.
Yeah.
And so now she's got I get to be the dick.
Yeah, I'm down with
I'm fine with that, yeah.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm up for it. Yeah, why not? It just looks like it's going to be fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To be fair, at the moment, I'll give anything a chance that's got the Blumhouse thing in front of it.
Yeah.
They really are. They've got a good hit rate.
They really fucking do.
You are?
They really do. They really do.
Well, no, I don't know that I haven't watched. I don't know if you've watched, Bex, but I would assume Ian has watched Toy Story 4.
Oh, God, no.
Have you watched it?
Fucking, yeah.
Is it just Toy Story 4?
It looks like it should be on that fucking Disney Plus.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know why they're doing it. Like, I don't, this film, judging by this trailer, I mean, obviously a trailer is just a trailer, but it doesn't feel like there's a particular need for this. I mean, basically, Bonnie makes a toy called Sporky, and because he's not naturally a toy, he can't fit in, and he's bothered by the fact that he's supposed to be a toy. Which then brings up questions about, like, well, what? So do all kitchen utensils know they're kitchen utensils, and all they want to do is, like, make sure that they fit their purpose? I mean, it just, like, that's opening up things. I mean, toys kind of make sense.
Yeah.
I don't think I need that kind of existential question in my life about kitchen utensils, to be honest.
Is it?
No, I mean,
does it just seem like it's like, do you know what? You had not for me, but for the wider scope of audiences, you had a perfect trilogy of films. You've now taken it too far.
Yeah. I mean, it does. I've also, it seems to be saying that Bo Peep might be the bad guy in this one, which is odd. And I mean, I think it's interesting that it doesn't look like it's going to be Woody and Buzz's film. It very much looks like it's an ensemble piece, which I appreciate. But the thing is, Lottie's like really, really up for it. She hasn't seen this trailer yet, but the initial teaser trailer, she was very excited when she saw that. And she keeps on asking when it's coming out, which is great, and like bless her, and of course I'll go and see it with her. But it just Toy Story 3, the ending of that film is one of the best endings to a franchise you will ever get.
Is that the bit
And
where
now
you're
there's a
flying
fourth
the
one.
incinerator?
No, it's the bit where Andy starts grooming that little girl.
I choose to believe that it ends and they all die in the incinerator.
But I mean, like, just the fact that they leave that hanging just a bit longer than you think they're going to before they get saved. Like, there's just like they're all holding hands together. Woody and Buzz look at each other like they know what's going to happen, and they kind of just accept it. And then the aliens come and save the day. And I think that's wonderfully ballsy for that film to do that. But then the ending, where it's Andy playing with the toys one last time and then driving off, and it's just a shot of all the toys kind of like watching and smiling as they see him go. It's lovely. You cynical fucks can fuck off, but it's...
Does it make me a terrible person that I'm really disappointed they didn't all burn?
Well, yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're both terrible.
That would have been amazing.
You've been better.
It would have been a more existential message for the masses. Like, this is what happens when you reject your toys; they all fucking burn.
Yeah, they won't come back a third time.
4.
Third, did they?
That was in 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they won't come back that time. Third time.
Okay.
Count.
My problem with Pixar, apart from the fact that they're supposed to be animated movies and they're not, they're computer-generated shite.
Which is a form animation.
Not really. Is that they make a film and it's successful and they go, oh fuck, let's rape this corpse for as much as we can fucking get out of it and just do sequel after sequel after pointless fucking sequel. Toy Story is a good film, but it has in and of itself been ruined by the fact that it's had 300,000 fucking sequels and shorts and spin-offs and all this bullshit off of it. It's a good film. Just leave it alone.
They should have left it alone this time, yeah. I could see it making a second. 2,
I didn't need, but it was alright. 3, absolutely didn't need. 4, definitely don't fucking need.
Agree.
You know, it's just too much. They take it too far.
Yeah. But it makes an awful lot of money.
And what's that one with the cars?
Cars.
Oh, is it Cars? Is it just Cars? I've not seen any of them, but there's been so many sequels off of that. And it's like... Don't laugh at me. I didn't know it was just called Cars.
That's another one of the, I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down moments from Becky.
No, that's actually the same. But, like, they cheapen their products by...
This is cheapening the brand a little bit, yes. Yeah, fair enough on that one.
I want to shut about Pixar.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be you're not allowed to talk about Pixar anymore, I think.
Okay, what are you not allowed to talk about?
I'm not allowed to talk about Carol. And neither am allowed to talk about Bohemian Rhapsody anymore.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
The big one. Have we got any more trailers? I haven't got any more. You got any more, Ian?
No, apart from the big one.
Cool. So the big one, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood launched with a trailer, and it looks like an awful lot of fun.
Well, there was a lot of stills dropped, weren't there, in the run-up to the trailer being released, and people, like, the excitement was building.
Yeah.
And the trailer dropped, and it just looks like an awful lot, like you said, like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Really good. And I think a lot of people are kind of missing the point.
Yeah, a lot of people are missing the point. You know, there was a whole swathe of people saying, "Oh, you know, I love the way this is about the Sharon Tate murder, but they've managed to make it focus about 2 men." It's like, it's not about...
are people saying that? I've missed that.
And it's a bit like, it's not about the Sharon Tate murder. Quentin Tarantino has specifically said it's happening around that time, but it is not a story about the Sharon Tate murder or the Charles Manson murders or anything like that. It's just happening around Hollywood at the time and how society was influenced by that. And this actor and his stunt double, and how everything kind of seems to flit around them. So you have fictional characters and you have real people, but as Tarantino would always do, they're based around the idea of that person rather than actually that person. So this isn't a retelling of anything, it's taking a point in time and then showing Inglourious Bastard style. What if idea, which I am very up for, and there's a whole different using of different film stocks and different formats, and we're going to see an awful lot of Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio having fun with each other.
Brad Pitt's in full Inglourious Basterds mode as well.
He's in full Robert Redford mode, looking handsome as fuck. And the glorious line in it of the Bruce Lee character, Bruce Lee, turning around and saying, "My hands are registered weapons, I kill you, I go to prison." And Brad Pitt's going saying, "Anybody does that, they go to prison. It's called manslaughter." Is a wonderfully Tarantino-y quip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely sold. If you want to sell that, just sell it on a GIF of DiCaprio doing that dance.
Where just the whole lip biting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bang up for it.
Right, that's trailers. Should we get into our first review, guys?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Right.
What are we doing first?
So our first review is going to be of Jordan Peele's sophomore effort, Us.
You know how sometimes things line up?
Yeah.
You know, like coincidences. Since we've been here, they've been happening more and more. I feel like it means like she's getting closer.
Who? The mirror girl?
You don't believe me?
I do. I do. I'm processing. Okay? I just can't believe you kept all this inside for so long. You know I'm here, right?
So I'm just going to grab my iPad so I can actually get everybody's names right. Could somebody else please pronounce Lupita Nyong'o, is it?
Yeah.
Fuck, thank Christ, because I thought I was going to brutalise that.
I think it is, isn't it, Ian?
Lupita Nyong'o, yeah.
Nyong'o, yeah, cool. Yeah. Right, good, I'm going to brutalise it then.
Right.
Usually I do, and then people laugh.
You do, yeah.
So yes, stars, written and directed by Jordan Peele, stars Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Elizabeth Moss, Tim Heidecker, and is... right. I'll try and not give away too much of the plot. But guys, remember, we are all spoilers all of the time.
If you haven't watched it, switch off now.
Well, not switch off, just fast forward a little bit.
Well, no, switch off. Go watch it, then listen.
I'll just fast forward a little bit.
Alright.
In 1986, around the time of the Lost Boys being shot, a little girl is in Santa Cruz. And it's her birthday, and she's with her dad doing bits, and then she goes off a-wandering and ends up in a hall of mirrors and sees a other version of herself.
You don't actually see what she sees at the start.
No, you don't. You kind of do, but you don't. And then we fast forward to 25 years later, what do you mean? 30 years later? 33 years later? 32 years later?
300,000 years later.
Present day.
You're just naming bumpers now.
Yes, I am. Present day. Which could be in any time.
Well, hang on, what year was Lost Boys filmed?
1986.
Right, what year is it now?
2019.
How many years later is that?
33.
There we go then.
But if it's next year, it's 34, so it's present day.
Fucking hell. Oh, God.
So it fast forwards to present day, which will be 33 years down the line. And the same girl is now travelling with her family. You're still laughing at me, aren't you? Travelling with her family to their lakeside retreat.
I think it's best if her parents all time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, logic would dictate, like, she lived there with her parents, the kid, and now they're going...
That seems like a holiday home rather than a static home that you could live in 12 months a year.
That's good.
Well, would agree to disagree on this one.
Okay.
And then they go to the beach, bits happen, and it ends up with a family at their door later on that night, and the family is them, and we'll get more into the plot as we go along. Ian, what did you think of Us?
So, yeah, I mean, I tried to not listen to the hype too much going into it. Trailer, I think the marketing's been spot on. The poster's fucking fantastic as well. Like, that poster is great. Yes. I really, it's really fucking good. It's a proper horror film. It does have shit to say, but I think it does it in a less this is what the film is about way than Get Out does. Even though I will say I rewatched Get Out again this week, third watch of it, and I'm more and more impressed of that film the more I watch it.
What I will agree with you on there is we've watched it 3 times now, and every time I watch it, it does improve on rewatch in the sense that I think you just start to absorb the ideas of it more, and you do. It does seem to grow on rewatch.
And it just, like, the screenplay is really, really fucking clever.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Like the way that it all makes sense in that world, and everything clicks. And everything didn't click for me at first, because, I mean, like, Mark and I had a WhatsApp conversation after I got out of it. But the more I read up on it, and, like, other people's takes and analysis, and did you notice this, did you notice that, the more I'm convinced that it's one of the best horror films of recent years, and again shows... Sorry?
What kind of thing? Like...
Oh, but about that I've kind of read up on. Okay, so so obviously all spoilers all the time. So watching the film early on, Lupita Nyong'o is teaching her kid like how to click to the rhythm of "I Got 5 on it," and when I'm watching it, I'm thinking,
out of time.
That's not right. Yeah, and it's like, am I? Maybe I'm just wrong there. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just my ears. And then I was reading a piece saying it's an early hint as to her character that
she's out of sync.
That she is out of sync. That she is. And I think that's just such a wonderful idea. Where in the moment I just brushed it off as being, that's just on me. And then it turns out it was absolutely on purpose. It's very clever. It's incredibly tense for a very large portion of its runtime, while also being very funny in moments as well.
I commented this to Mark that, you know, because we went what was it, 3:40 on Friday afternoon?
Yeah.
Daytime showing, and everyone was chatting and shit through the trailers, through the adverts, everything, and you kind of get that feeling like, oh shit, is this going to be a bad cinema crowd to be in with for a film like this? But everyone was impeccably behaved, like there wasn't a peep out of anybody throughout the whole film, and it's because it is it's like edge of your seat, tense throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
The atmosphere of it is really, really well developed.
It is. I just, like, from the beginning, the idea of, like, the kid being lost, and then the Hall of Mirrors, and then seeing herself, and then the whole kind of the opening credits just against the shot of the rabbits, and it's like, what the fuck's that about? And shit's going to happen, and even daytime in the beach, it's tense, and then the way it just kind of, like, when the kid says, there's a family in our driveway, it kind of feels like that's quite sudden. Like, I can't remember what was happening immediately prior to it, but it just kind of seems to click to, there's a family standing in our driveway. And then from there on, it's just like other level fucking hell. And
it goes from being as a family in our driveway to them being in the house really quick. I thought there'd be a longer point to the family being fully introduced, and this is them. This is versions of them. I thought it would take longer to get from that moment to that moment, and it doesn't. It goes quick, and at that moment I thought, oh, okay, we've got like 2/3 of the movie, or thirds
of the trailer covered.
Yeah. Wow, this is going to be a lot here, and this can't all be in the house.
To be fair to it, you're gonna notice that these people look exactly like you very quickly, aren't you? And in the trailer, it makes out like he goes out and he confronts them, and then there's the "if you want to get crazy, we can get crazy" iconic fucking line from Winston Duke is his name.
Yeah.
But he comes back and then he's like, call the police, and that's a bit more. It's a bit more logical in the movie than it is in the trailer. Like, you kind of think, well, that escalates quickly. But obviously, there's more time to do that in the trailer. But in the film, but in the trailer, it looks like it just kind of goes from there. But yeah, I mean, they just obviously they've been planning this for a number of years. They're just fucking getting on with it, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, and when it kicks in, I mean, Lupita Nyong'o is fucking incredible. Like, she is fucking incredible in this film. What she's doing with her voice and the way she moves, it's so fucking otherworldly.
Knowing what you know later on, it's so clever, the subtlety of the voice thing.
Oh my god, yeah.
I said this to you afterwards, didn't I? It's a performance in two halves. Is Lupita's. It's you've got her performance as Red.
Yeah.
And her performance as God, I can't actually even remember what the character's name is. Adelaide, that's it. Yeah. She's great as Red. I think at points as Adelaide, it's a touch over the top, but then again, reading into what it is afterwards, then she is that person.
Yes.
So, but I think at points it kind of feels like when you don't know what the twist is going to be at the end, it's like you kind of feel like, oh, they've tried to say, oh, you're in a heightened emotional state right now, so show the fact that these people aren't like this because they're terrible. They're a product of their environment, and when you're under high stress, you are very similar to them, and do this whole voice. But like, her voice wouldn't necessarily go like that just because she was stressed.
What?
So like when she's there's a point earlier on that she does it, and then there's the point where she strangles herself.
Yeah.
Where her voice goes exactly like her other self.
Well, the voice of herself is like that because.
Well, that's what I mean.
Because she has a larynx crushed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like, she does it and she starts doing like the snarling thing that.
Yeah, she reverts.
And it's a little bit like, well.
Like Ian
feels
says,
like too much as a performance, but then when you kind of take into account that is who she is.
Yeah, there's a lot of levels to it.
Yeah.
It is incredible. Yeah.
I mean, I've talked for long enough. I mean, what do you guys think?
Bex, what do you think?
I mean, I thought it was magnificent. I was really, really looking forward to it. In the run up to it, and you get that kind of anxiety, don't you? That going into a film that you're really looking forward to, is it actually going to live up to it? Am I going to have hyped it so much mentally that it's actually going to let me down? But I mean, it really doesn't, and it makes you think on like so many different levels. Like, you can kind of watch it at face value, and it's just this kind of creepy horror movie, but then with all the other stuff that's going on, and there is that whole kind of product of the environment element to it, with these doubles of just being kind of not the tethered, just of being relatively normal, if they'd been raised in a normal environment. The whole kind of soul splitting between two bodies thing is interesting, and obviously as you go through it, there's more beats from the start of the film that you kind of go, oh, I get it. Like with the rabbits, I had to eat raw rabbit, and it's because it was the experiment rabbits that are just down there. And it's a film that unwraps really well as you're watching it.
Yeah, it is one that certainly, I think that the more you actually sit on it, the better it kind of gets. I'm the same. I think it's a proper horror film for a start.
Really gripping as well.
In the sense that it's an outright horror, which is great. But like Ian says, it manages to maintain being tense, with also being quite funny and quite realistic, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not uncomfortably tense. It's not like you sat there just frightened the whole time. Like you're on edge the whole time, but there's bits where you have fun as well, and I feel like that's more realistic than like if you're in a tense situation, you're gonna be tense, but you're also gonna make the same stupid quips that you make in real life. Anyway,
there's a release of tension there, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think it's. I think it has a bit, the bit that joins the middle and the last third. I think the bit that joins those together didn't quite work for me. But
the journey in the car and then
it's a real minor quibble. Yeah, certainly. But I do think overall it's a very, very strong piece of work, and it's not just it's a really well made film.
There's bits that when you kind of look at it in too much depth, that you kind of go, well, hang on a second. Like, obviously, the doubling of the movements between mostly the boys, but obviously it is between Lupita Nyong'o's characters as well, because when she's dancing up top, she's dancing down below. So the mirroring of the movements.
Yeah.
Well, why does that not happen all the time?
That's it. But the other bit as well is I would have liked a little bit more. I could have done with another 20-minute world building of how the beneath world matches and how that works.
Well, that came out, didn't we? It's like the reveal.
Yeah.
It doesn't unravel. It just plonks itself in your lap.
Yeah. But sorry, what you saying?
I was just going to say to that, like, I agree, and I think like the thing is, if I didn't like the film, I'd probably be more bothered about it. But for me, I'm just kind of like, it's just like a nightmare dream logic. It's like, if this was a nightmare, it would make sense. Like, if you were stuck in this nightmare world where there's like a copy of you underground just copying everything, like, it would make sense in that. And for me, I think this film is, I mean, for as funny as it is at times, I think it is like a waking nightmare. Like, it gets to some really fucking primal fear shit about being controlled by others and, like, yourself, like, coming to do you damage. So I read it and explain it away like that myself. But like I say, if I didn't like it, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, like if you're being completely forgiving about it because you like the film, then you can do that. It's like, oh well, when they're down on the lower levels, then they're mirroring their movements, but when they're up on the higher levels, then they're not, because they're untethered, because they're on the same plane, kind of thing, and they can only kind of mirror if they're in eye contact. That's kind of how I got around it, because the only mirroring movements was between those two boys, and it was when they were in the closet facing each other, and then it was when they were at the bit where he burns himself by walking backwards, and they were facing each other. So that's kind of how I logicized it.
That's a tame way to say it. He doesn't just burn himself.
Well,
he literally sets fire himself.
I mean, that's the thing, man. The fact that's like kind of like slow motion, just watching that kid fucking back into those flames. That is a hell of a shot.
It is, and
really
the weird thing is, it's one of the most striking visual shots in the movie. For me anyway, one of the only bits of the movie where I was there going,
yeah, I could do that.
I want you to hurry up a little bit now. You're slowing down.
Really? That's funny.
And so there is that, in a sense, I'm going, this looks fantastic. Hurry up. And it's that weirdness for that. Go on, sorry.
Sorry, I just, like, because otherwise I'm going to forget. Massive, massive shout out to the moment where they're in Elizabeth Moss's house and one of the daughter doppelgangers does like a cartwheel, and then Lupita Nyong'o's daughter just fucking smacks her and she just falls straight off that fucking platform.
Yeah.
The dog character very quickly becomes a badass really fucking quick. A great moment in it actually is before they go to that house where they're comparing who's killed the most.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the dad's like, I've killed 2. Just point it out there. 2.
No, doesn't he say he's killed 3? Because he's killed...
No, he says he's killed 2, and the little girl says... No, it's after they come out of the house. The little girl says she's killed 2 as well. She's got the highest body count. And then Lupita Nyong'o goes, no, because she wasn't dead. I've just killed her.
Yeah.
Doesn't Winston Duke go, I've actually killed 3, I've killed blah and blah, and myself?
Maybe.
He's really good in it, actually.
He's very good at it.
He's fucking cracking.
Yeah. I like the fact that he literally gets fucking fucked up before they even get announced.
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me, to be honest. I was like, you fucking stop limping. You've just been hitting the leg with a baseball bat. Grow some fucking balls.
I don't know. I'm getting smacked in the leg with a baseball bat.
Wasn't it like a metal baseball bat? That must have fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Aluminium baseball bat. Those suckers hurt.
He's a thick-set man, though, isn't he? He should be able to fucking take it.
Yeah, but he's clearly missed a lot of leg day.
He has missed a lot of leg there.
Yeah, that's what it is. Another advertisement that you shouldn't skip leg day.
You don't skip leg
Nope.
there.
There you go. That's another message that us gives us.
The flare gun moment is fucking amazing.
That is funny, yeah.
What Tim Heidecker is doing when he's the doppelganger, because I thought it was really weird that Tim Heidecker was in this film.
Yeah.
And then when you get him as the doppelganger, and like the physical comedy where he's like kind of like putting his arms to his waist and kind of like observing and going and just kind of like going or whatever the fucking noise is.
He's making a weird quizzical face, like almost like a playful face throughout the entire thing.
Do you know what? He reminded me of someone throughout that bit where he was the doppelganger, and I couldn't at the time think of who he was, and I realised afterwards it's in Autonomous, the guy with the funny wig.
No, I can't remember it as well as you. I haven't seen it many times.
Well, the bad guy. Okay, him. Anyway, just the weird kind of zombie-esque kind of quirky bits, but like still, like he's more kind of human than the other, than Winston Duke's doppelganger.
He's got more personality.
Human characteristics, yeah.
He's more playful.
He's more playful.
Yeah.
He's still killing people.
But they seem like a more playful family. I do like the fact that they literally just come in that family and literally just there's no dicking about. It's just stab.
Everyone's there.
Yeah. There's no. Let's sit down. Let's talk to them. Let's toy them a little bit. Stab.
Yeah.
It's strong. It's really strong.
It is really strong. I think it will improve on rewatch as well, to be perfectly honest. I think there's bits that potentially you're going to miss on a first watch, especially in the cinema where you can't ruminate on things in the same way in the cinema as you can on a home watch.
No, certainly not. I mean, I love the fucking the Hands Across America thing is never actually explained within it, but it is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also love that there are apparently several drops. I was saying this to you on Avex. There are several nods to Corey Feldman in the movie because Jordan Peele's a really big Corey Feldman fan.
Someone's got to be.
Yeah. What?
Someone's got to be.
Well, fuck you. So there are numerous Corey Feldman references in the movie, which I think is just great.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you think it's great, Mark.
Yeah.
Well done. Have a biscuit.
I will.
I'll get you a biscuit if you want.
I'm alright for now.
All right.
We're on air, so
Okay.
so
That'll be weird, right?
yeah, will it be crunchy?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing we're all three definitely not shit on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely cool.
I'll wait to watch it again.
Our audience poll, definitely not shit, 71%. Touching cloth, 5%. Shit, 19%.
Wow.
And Geostorm, 5%.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought on that. It's quite interesting, that.
I need a wee.
Cool.
Sorry, really badly. Sorry.
That's no problem. Well, actually, instead of going under the sub layer, we'll go into some of what we've been watching.
I've not really been watching very much though.
Are you guys just going to keep going, are you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I'll be back.
We've watched a couple, haven't we? You can come to do Star Trek first, and then we'll do the other one because it was one that we mentioned on the show the other week. Not the ones we mentioned we'd watch, but one we did mention on the show the other week. So we rewatched Star Trek Beyond this week, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Go
Go on. There you go.
I'll go. So we reviewed this on the show pre-Becky, and me and Ian were actually quite fond of it, to be honest. It felt, I think we commented on it and we said that it felt like essentially like a long Star Trek episode.
Well, it feels a lot more fun, I think, than the previous two rebooted movies.
There seems to be less at stake. It seems to be smaller stakes. It's all set around more of a singular location, and it feels like a long episode of a TV show, like a feature film of a TV show,
yeah, it does, yeah.
rather than a feature film. So
yeah, I hadn't seen this before, so I'd watched the previous two movies in the reboot, but not watched this one, and it was quite a nice kind of change of pace, really. From those two, it's like you say, it's a lot more breezy.
Well, that's certainly what I found, and I think I enjoyed that a lot more the first time of watching it. But this time, it didn't grip me as much, is what I would say. It didn't quite get me as much as it did on first watch. I found it to lag a little bit. Mainly, I found that the accents irritated me more.
Right.
That's starting to bother me a little bit more, whereas previously it hadn't as such. But I still do think it's a fun watch. But what I would definitely say is we don't need any more of these Star Trek reboots. I don't watch the TV show or anything like that. I've never watched it. Not through a dislike of it.
Well, STD's taking it forward.
Yes. Well, and don't we all love STDs? I've never watched Star Trek the TV show for the simple fact is that there's so much of it that I find it hard to know where to drop in.
I think you can kind of the series are all kind of standalone. Obviously, given the fact that Picard's coming back, Next Generation will be a logical place to drop in if you wanted to drop in and then follow the new ones when they come out. But
I kind of feel like I don't want to do that.
Well, that's fine. I mean, Next Generation's great.
That's fine. Again, it's not an anything against Star Trek. I don't have anything against Star Trek. It's not that. It's just it's something that I don't think I need in my life. Is what I would say. It's right. Another thing that I need to watch. That I don't want to start watching it because it might trigger something and I might end up
going down the rabbit hole.
I might go down a rabbit hole.
I don't think you would.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go. Well, I don't need to go over there right now, do I? And just keep going. I might go over there at some point, but for now I won't. But Star Trek Beyond is still a fun little watch.
It is.
My favourite Trek movie still remains the one about the Borg cubes, though.
Which one's that? Is it just called Star Trek the Borg Cube?
No.
Which one is it then?
No.
Well, it can't be that fucking good.
Let me Google the shit out of it.
I still think it's Wrath of Khan, but...
No, I've not seen that, actually.
Wrath of Khan? How have you not seen Wrath of
Khan?
Khan?
Wow, you've not seen Wrath of Khan?
Wow. Well, add that to the fucking list.
First Contact.
First Contact.
Yeah. First Contact's a great fucking movie.
We watched a few of them quite recently, didn't we?
Yeah,
last
we did,
year.
yeah.
At some point we watched.
First Contact was one of them.
Yeah.
I love First Contact, and I love Picard as captain, which is why I can watch TNG quite happily. And the thing is, you can drop in on episodes as well.
Cool. What else did we watch this week?
Valentine?
Well, I don't want to ask that as a question. You know, we watched it.
No, I know, but that's it.
We can talk about it.
So after the conversation last week about David Boreanaz, we watched Valentine, the slasher movie.
You watched Valentine, you sons of bitches. Okay.
Really weird seeing Denise Richards and stuff.
Which, well, go on. I commented to you on this, didn't I, Vex? That Denise Richards in this film isn't playing a person, is she? She's
playing a early 2000s hot chick.
She's playing a human representation of what people think Denise Richards is, rather than an actual person. It is ridiculous.
It is a very strange performance, I'm not going to lie.
It is. It's almost like during every scene, everyone was looking at her going, "What? Are you in a whole different movie to us?"
The bit where the detective guy hits on her.
Yeah.
That's really uncomfortable.
It is, but it doesn't belong in the movie.
No.
It's so weird.
It is a strange movie, but it's an early 2000s horror movie, so it's perfectly enjoyable.
It's perfectly enjoyable. They are a gang of bitches, though.
They are a gang of bitches, yeah.
And so it's hard to feel sorry for them. It literally is like, hey, look at all these unpleasant people. They're about to be murdered. You don't want this to happen, do you? No, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I'd like to watch her die.
I'm fine with it.
Didn't she die in a hot tub?
Denise Richards lets lots in a hot tub. Right. Now, there's a bit of this that I don't quite get.
Go on.
Right? The rich, used to be chubby chick, has got the con man. Dorothy, yes. Has got the con man guy who we're starting to think might be the murderer living at her house, and he says, "Oh, I'm going to get this rigged up for the party." And he's rigging up a hot tub, and it's like, hang on a minute, you haven't built all of that. There's no way you've built all that in that amount of time. That was already there. So essentially, what? You've turned something on, and everyone should think that you're great about it.
Well, I mean, they are rich. Like, doing anything, even switching on a plug, is
He's not
audible.
He's not. So yeah, but she does get killed in a hot tub, and you kind of go, well, you kind of deserve that. It's a lot of people getting what they deserve.
Honestly, it's a way to go, dying in a hot tub. I'd probably be quite happy with that.
Yeah,
it kind of feels like you two are going to go in some sort of hot tub misadventure. To be fair, so.
I'd be fine with just falling asleep watching Hot Tub Time Machine in a hot tub whilst having a bit of a buzz on.
Well, when you're 90 and you're on your way out, I'll take you there.
I don't want to go to 90, you know that.
I'm not letting you die at 60 like you want to.
You suck.
I'll keep you plugged in.
Yeah, but it is. I know this all came from Ian suggesting that he'd quite like to sort of rewatch a few of those sort of early noughties horror movies, and so we decided to watch Valentine, and it's a perfectly enjoyable watch. To be honest, it's exactly what you expect from that level, that time period in horror movies. So it was a lot of fun. What have you been watching this week, Ian?
Nice, fair play. So I watched. What the fuck did I watch? Sorry, I thought there was going to be more. Just like Patricia Arquette at the end of Boyhood. How the fuck can I not? Oh right, yeah, okay. So I rewatched Jumanji, the original Jumanji. First time watch for Lottie, and I enjoy Jumanji. It's it's a lot of silly fun. It's a very 90s, they don't make them like this anymore kids film. It's got a good level of threat and menace to it. It's funny. Like, Lottie was fucking loving the monkeys stealing the cop car and the monkeys on the cop motorbike and stuff. Fucking loving it. She was living her best life watching that last night. What I will say, so it's in 4K on iTunes with Dolby Atmos as well, which was quite a treat actually. But 4K resolution with those monkeys being that level of CG is not a good combination. The CG monkeys in Jumanji are fucking abominations. Like, what they do is funny, but how they look is fucking horrific. And it's weird because the rest of the CG doesn't look that bad. And there's practical effects as well. But these monkeys, nah, they're fucking nightmares. They're like a fucking 5-year-old trying to draw a monkey. Rewatched the David Gordon Green Halloween. Which I liked it more on a second go around, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I appreciate how, even the first film was not really, but I appreciate how nasty this film is. It's a rare horror film these days that earns an 18 certificate. I think this earns an 18 certificate. It's fucking gnarly, and grisly. And yeah, I just the kills are rough. It's funny that fucking kid saying that, like, calling that guy Dave repeatedly is gold. I think the reveal with the Doctor is something from a far more hammy film. Yeah. I thought that was a real misstep. But I like the ending as well. I like the combination of 3 generations of Strode coming together to get him. I hope this isn't the start of something. And, it's been weirdly quiet on the sequel front for this, which I think is great. I don't think there does need to be another one, or at least if they are going to do another one, just don't have Jamie Lee Curtis in it. Don't let it be the Strodes. Let someone else, and not like a reboot or anything like that. Let's just, but not Halloween Resurrection. Let's have a Michael Myers film that isn't obsessed with that mythology, but given to someone who likes the series and can do interesting things with it. And I think that if Jason Blum is involved, I think that there will be a level of appreciation and care taken to it. So yeah, I'm all right with this version of Halloween at this point.
So it's worth a rewatch then.
Yeah, it's quite a quick hour and 45 as well. Actually, it doesn't fuck around, and I appreciate that. So yeah, Halloween, it's worth a go. And my last one, I believe. I got. I think we're going to review Piercing next week. I got 20 minutes into it and just went, a sunny Sunday afternoon is not the right fucking time of day to be watching Piercing. So, yeah.
That one there, yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that yet?
I've not caught all of it yet, no.
Yeah, no. Last one then, Solace, or Solis, I don't know how to fucking pronounce this. So this has been popping up on my fucking Netflix like no one's business. I even got an email from Netflix saying this is one you'd be interested in. And I think it's basically because it looks a bit like Sunshine. I think they've gone, he likes Sunshine, even though he's never watched it on Netflix. We know he likes Sunshine because the internet told us he does, so he'll like this. So basically, engineer on a spacecraft wakes up and shit's gone wrong. To the left of him, there's a crew member with his eyes fucking out and obviously very dead. He gets a transmission from somebody on another ship that is trying to come and save him. He's hurtling towards the sun, and it's essentially she might get to him in time, she might not, but then he's also got to deal with a number of things going on the ship as well. There's no monsters or anything like that. It's literally just dealing with a ship catapulting towards the sun. So, I found out that the main guy in this, Stephen Ogg, who's a producer on the film as well, I kind of thought he just was a rich guy who gave a load of money to someone and said, make a movie, but I'm going to be the star. But, no. He's actually most famous for being Trevor in Grand Theft Auto 5, which fucking blew my mind. The character of Trevor in Grand Theft Auto 5 and this character are two very different people. Becky, have you played GTA 5?
No, I've not played any of the GTA games.
I've played a bit of GTA 5.
Yeah. Trevor, he's not a nice guy.
No, he's a bit of a bastard.
Yeah. Sorry, forgive me for asking Becky, not you, Mark. You just
Becky... It's a logical move to make.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, cool. So yeah, it's basically 92 minutes long. It's basically a two-hander with this guy trying to not die, while every now and then he has these kind of conversations with this voice. The voice is Alice Lowe of Prevenge and Sightseers fame, by the way. It was odd seeing her in this. It's a British production, I believe, so I suppose there is a bit of sense there. And it's a Wednesday night Netflix. I don't usually do that kind of descriptor that Mark's fond of, but I think this would apply to this film. It's a Wednesday night Netflix film.
Yeah.
You know,
worth having a look at.
If you're so inclined.
Is the Doctor in Bandersnatch?
I know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she was the Doctor in Bandersnatch. Yeah. So yeah, like I say, it's a recommend for those inclined. If you're not so inclined, then give it a wide berth.
And if you're inclined, watch it on a Wednesday.
And if you're inclined, watch it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Breaking news: we have our pick for the next patron review.
Oh yeah.
So Noel picked number 4. Finally getting to it. The Death of Stalin.
Right, cool. I've been holding off watching this because it was going to come up at some point with this.
So, yeah, okay, great. I think hopefully next week then.
Yeah, should be next week, yeah.
Yep. Cool. We will do Armando Iannucci's The Death of Stalin. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so yeah, that's it for what I've been watching. But yeah, Solus, like I say, if it sounds interesting to you, give it a go. It does kind of feel like they pad it out with a lot of sunshine-esque shots of the sun and things being shot against the sun, and it does feel a bit like, right, okay, you gave an FX house a bit of money to do a bunch of these shots, and you've just made the film 10 minutes longer. Well done. But it did give it some production value, because otherwise it would be like it's just one guy in a capsule having a conversation with a woman. And that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's it for me. And is it Under the Silver Lake time?
Have you ever heard about old record albums having satanic messages in them if you play them backwards?
Sure.
Well, I was watching Wheel of Fortune, and I noticed that Vanna White did this little pattern of glances every so often. She would look straight ahead, to the right, to the left, and then back again. And I started to wonder, is that random? Is there a reason, like a pattern behind it? And if there is, maybe there's something meaningful in that pattern. So yeah, I just started taking note of when it happened. Past 7 months, I got a complete record.
I've just been thinking, why do we just assume that all of this infrastructure and entertainment and
open information that is beaming all over the place, all the time, into every single home on the planet is exactly what we're told it is. Maybe there are people out there who are more important than us, more powerful and wealthier than us, that are communicating things and seeing things in the world that are meant for only them and not for us. I think it's fucking ridiculous to assume that media has just one purpose, right?
Yeah.
It is indeed Under the Silver Lake time. So Under the Silver Lake is David Robert Mitchell's follow-up to the movie It Follows, which, as I said earlier, I don't think any of us were that big of fans of, were we?
Even on rewatch, that thing's not great.
Pardon? Did you rewatch it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, without like getting away from the hype, I thought it was all right. Then I can see some of the merits in this, but at the same time, it's still, I do not see what the fuss was about with that fucking film at all.
Yes. Have you seen his first movie?
The Myth of the American Sleepover?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it on the train. Like, I was going to Manchester because I watched it in It Follows in Manchester with Noel. I think it might have been his stag weekend.
It was. You went up the day before, and then I joined it the day afterwards. Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. So yeah, I watched it on the train up to Manchester, and I liked The Myth of the American Sleepover. And then we both watched It Follows, and then recorded a review in Byron.
Yes.
The burger was a lot better than the film.
Yes, I remember you saying that in the review.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's his follow-up to that. Stars, who does it star? Andrew Garfield, Riley Keough, Topher Grace, Jimmy Simpson, Ricky Lindholm, and a bunch of kind of, I recognise that guy from something.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of those, and I recognise that girl's breasts from something. So it's a bunch of those. Very much a kind of neo-noir feel to it. Andrew Garfield plays a character called Sam, who has a kind of aimless life, I think is what we'd say there. Kind of like just poodles around.
Not paying his rent.
Yeah, not paying his rent. And develops a bit of a crush on his neighbour, who he kind of pervs on a little bit, I think is the best way to describe it. Admires from afar. And then ends up striking up a bit of a friendship with a very brief friendship with her, literally one evening. But she then says, come to see me tomorrow afternoon and we'll hang out some more. When he goes back to meet her tomorrow afternoon to hang out some more, she's no longer there, and all of her and her flatmate stuff is all gone. And he decides to start looking into what's happened, who she was, where he can get in touch with her. And then it seems to be connected to the disappearance of a billionaire. Everything kind of descends down that world, all against the backdrop of him being sprayed by a skunk, taking an interest in a local comic book Under Silver Lake, and a dog killer. So yeah, there's
the Owl's Kiss,
and there's the Owl's Kiss. Yeah, there's an awful lot going on. It has split audiences, I would say, quite significantly. But Ian, what did you think?
Yeah. I think it's fascinating, just the reaction to this as well as the film itself. You know, it follows is heralded as this progressive, interesting horror film with an interesting female lead character and, you know, intellectual scares. And you get to Under the Silver Lake and, it's a load of misogynist horse shit. Fucking make your minds up.
Do you get the misogynist vibe from it? Because I've been interested to hear your take on this. I really don't. And
I don't know. What we were discussing this earlier, Vex, in saying that we're not saying it's not there. It's just that if it is there, it's something that we just haven't picked up on. And when we were saying it was quite interesting for somebody who did pick up on it to kind of this, and we kind of go, oh, fair enough. I'll go, yeah, I didn't get that. You know, I'm not saying it's not outright saying no, it's not anything like that. More saying didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
Thing is,
did you get that from it?
There's a lot of boobs in this, and there's like no wang.
But there's not.
Yeah, but presence of boobs doesn't necessarily scream misogyny, does it?
I wasn't quite done. Sorry. But I think that the whole film is from the viewpoint of this guy who thinks it's a little bit, he thinks he's hot shit, but he's actually cold diarrhea. He's this guy who thinks he's gonna have the answers and he's gonna save the girl, and this is bringing meaning to his life. And in fact, it's just this like kind of stoned wander through a bunch of pop culture bollocks where in the end nothing means anything, and that's the point, and I enjoyed that about it. I just want to make this clear. It's 2 hours 23 minutes of watching this guy learn absolutely fucking nothing, question his own importance, question how everything in his life that he thought had meaning has no meaning, and then just decides fuck it and just goes back to exactly what he was beforehand.
Yeah.
Because it's this toxic masculinity parable, which I think is really, really fucking interesting. Much more so than It Follows. Last time I'm going to do that. I think Andrew Garfield gives it his all, and the scene with the songwriter will probably be my scene of the fucking year.
Can I ask, where do you get the toxic masculinity element from?
Well, essentially, here's this guy who doesn't pay his rent, pervs on women all over the place, seems to think that he's the key to solving this mystery. He is the most important person in this story. And by the end, he's just this fucking sad bastard who seemingly, this whole thing is because he couldn't get over his breakup with this other woman who he meets at one point. And by the end, is just back to where he was in the first place. It's I'm not going to say it's as biting as I think a lot of pop culture is at the moment in terms of toxic masculinity, but I think it has its fangs in there in Garfield's performance, and I think that the boobs in the film are not there to be ogled at. It's just his viewpoint of this is all these women are to me, are basically tits, because I am the important one. Or maybe I just read it wrong.
I mean, everyone reads things like this differently, don't they? I mean, I didn't get that from it at all. To me, he's met this girl. Obviously, he does look at women as they are out and about. You know, his neighbour with the parrots, she's parading out on a balcony with her tits out. So, I mean, you'd look, wouldn't you? If someone's parading around with their tits out, you'd have a glance.
Well, no, I'm British, so I wouldn't.
And obviously, he notices the new girl down by the pool. Has a look at her. It's not. I don't think it's particularly put about that it's super lechy that he's looking at. I mean, he's watching her obviously, but again, who wouldn't?
You just check out her ass quite a lot.
Yeah, but she's got a nice ass.
I'm not sure on that one.
But then they have this night together and they have this connection. She tells him to come back, and then he goes back. She's not there. He's concerned and suspicious. He investigates it. There's this weird symbol on the wall. There's this weird girl coming up to pick up her dolls. And he looks into it further, and he might be able to crack the code. the whole kind of he goes through this whole thing and doesn't actually achieve anything. Well, he does, because he finds out where she's gone. He manages to speak to her. He's concerned.
Yeah, but she's like, well, why did you bother doing it? And he doesn't stop her. He doesn't save her. Yeah, he finds out where she is, but he doesn't save her.
But the only option that he had during that phone call was, do I tell her she's made a stupid decision and she's just going to die down there and upset her because there's no way to get her out? Or do I just kind of get through this conversation and try and set her mind at ease a little bit and walk away? He can't save her.
I think what I mean is he achieves nothing. The situation's the same as if he'd left it alone.
If he didn't get himself involved, there'd be no difference.
No.
It's a film that's very much about the journey rather than the destination.
And I mean, what does he? And just to say, what does he end up doing at the end? Just having sex with that woman he was looking at right at the start of the 2 hours 23 minutes.
They did that because he really wanted to find out what that fucking bird was saying. I mean, I still want to know what that fucking bird was saying.
It's like saying Oliver. What did you think of it though, Bex, on a whole?
I really, really enjoyed it. It felt like a Mulholland Drive light to me.
Well, I'm going to see a different movie in a second once you've said what you think that it reminded me of. I see a lot of people comparing it to Mulholland Drive and comparing it to Lynch, and I have a whole different movie that it reminded me of.
I think 'cause you've got the whole noir thing, which...
Again, yeah.
You've got with Mulholland Drive, but you've got the weirdness, which you've also got with Mulholland Drive. To me, it feels very much along that vibe. It felt Gilliam-esque at points.
Gilliam-esque?
Yeah, with the Homeless King and stuff like that.
I didn't pick up on that, but actually, yeah, now you couldn't mention it, yeah, fair enough.
And yeah, it was really interesting. It was really gripping. Like, we watched it last night, and I was quite tired when we started watching it, and I was like a little bit concerned that I was going to fall asleep, but there was no point at which your brain got to switch off long enough to kind of try and go, oh yeah, let's go sleep now. I find it really, really gripping, and I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I didn't, because throughout it, obviously, I was aware of comments that had been made about like misogynistic elements and stuff about male privilege and toxic masculinity. And I was trying to pick up on them, like actively trying to go, where am I not seeing it that it's coming from? And I just really didn't. And I was actively trying to see it, and I couldn't.
Okay, that's fair. I think it is very much. I'm not speaking for you, because I wouldn't want to speak for you. But speaking for myself, I'm definitely not saying it's not there, but I didn't pick up on it. But I have seen people saying, "Oh, there's an awful lot of boobs in it." But my point to that always is, hang on a minute, you're the same people who keep selling the Game of Thrones based on tits. So. I loved it. I really, really, really loved it. It's about a guy who's a bit of a dick, and he's a bit of a dick, and he's self-serving, and like it says, he literally achieves nothing, and he has a crossroads moment where he can learn from everything that's happened, or he cannot. And he literally chooses to not.
Wait, what moment?
The moment where he comes away from it all, and essentially he's got to the mystery of what happened to her. He knows what's happened to her now, and it's now he can use that information for something, or he can just go back to his life. And he looks at it and goes, right, but I can't go back there, because you keep thinking all the way through the movie, where is he going to get this money from to pay his rent? Somebody's going to give him this money. Somehow he's going to get it. That he's going to end up, nope, doesn't. So he's like, well, where am I going to stay tonight? I've got an idea. Bang. Quite literally, bang. So there's that element to it. Also, as well, he kicks the shit out of some kids, including punching one in the dick. So, immediately gets a whole fucking star from me.
But you know what, right? Every fucking... Right, we as grown-ups see kids being dickheads all the time and just think, do you know what, I wish I was younger and I could kick the shit out of him. He fucking does it.
Yeah, and I love the fact that
Kids are shit.
there's no comeuppance to that whatsoever.
No.
He doesn't come back and bite him in the ass at all. And he doesn't just stop him and say, "You've done this to my car." He hits that kid quite a few times.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. Yeah, that was is it one of the Transformers movies where Mark Wahlberg literally says to a kid, "If you've ever been punched in the face really, really hard?" Yeah, I really liked it, but it and I know there's been a lot of the elements of lynching, and I can totally see the thing of that because it's set in LA and things like that. But it reminded me mostly of Rian Johnson's first movie, Brick.
Yes, not a bad shout.
Yeah, in the sense that you've got a single male protagonist trying to solve the mystery of what's happened to a girl within his life, going around with an overzealous sense of himself, and that he is somehow above everybody else within this world, and only he can solve it.
See, I don't get that from this far. I don't get Garfield's character feels like he's above everyone.
Well, maybe he doesn't as such, but he seems like a character where things kind of fall for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He seems like a character where before the movie starts, he's had things together. He's been good at something, and then something's fallen apart.
I don't get that. For me, from the conversations with his mum and stuff like that throughout it, you kind of get the feeling that he's been bankrolled, and then he's been sent out on his own to do his own thing and spectacularly failed at it.
No, I didn't get that.
You don't ever get the feeling that he's been successful at anything.
No, she's not super successful, but has been fine and perfectly okay, and then break down in a relationship, and it's just caused him to fucking just.
Yeah.
And just the great moments are constantly, what's that smell? The fact he keeps just walking away.
I love that running joke, like the fact that skunk does that to him in the first half hour, and there's still people towards the end of the film referencing the smell.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's such a lazy pacing to a film. It never wants to speed itself up. It never wants to. I know there's a lot of people who've compared it to Southland Tales, for instance, which
But Southland Tales is a mess.
I get the idea for behind why you would compare it to something like Southland Tales, in the sense that it's a very indulgent piece of work, but Southland Tales is indulgent to the point of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Whereas this is indulgent to the point of just sheer indulgence.
I mean, it's got a story. It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. It makes a certain amount of sense. Southland Tales is just a fucking mess.
I do want to know what happened to that owl lady. If literally she's just still in that apartment going, is he coming back?
I came here to kill
because
him
yeah.
Oh, that owl, the way she moves as well. Yeah.
There should be a spin-off of that owl lady.
I'd watch an owl
Conjuring style.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Under the Silver Lake universe.
And when I said this to you last night, didn't I? When the homeless king found the dog treats in his pocket,
yeah,
I was like, oh, is he going to turn out to be the dog killer, and that's just all been off screen?
Yeah, no.
Nope,
does not turn out to be the dog killer. Like the fact that he keeps waking up randomly, was that him blacking out and going and killing loads of dogs because his ex-girlfriend had a dog or anything like that? Yeah, no, don't.
But I mean, maybe it's not him, because it's not anyone else. Could be him.
It's not.
It's an untied thread, isn't it?
Yes, certainly. There's a lot of untied threads within this movie, and I quite like the fact that there's a lot of.
Yeah, I like it for that. I like it for its scruffiness.
Yeah. And visually, it looks great at points.
Yeah.
Also weirded out by the fact that Topher Grace in it essentially is playing our friend and sometime Film Bastards listener, so he might be listening to this, Woody, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Literally honestly, he is the spitting image of Woody in this movie, and even to the point of where he even talks a little bit like him.
Yeah.
And mannerisms are a little bit like him as well.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
And also, another great running joke, another reason why I like it, is the fact that throughout it, Jimmy Simpson, for no reason, is always went up.
Yeah.
The fact that, that Andrew Garfield comments on it straight away, you're right there, are you some reason wearing a woman's blouse? And he kind of looks at it and goes,
Probably.
Yeah, probably. And then just the rest of the movie is constantly wearing a woman's top. And it's not mentioned.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I really like it.
Yeah, I loved it. Great use of REM as well.
Yeah.
Well, in the like the club scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and also as well the
end credits.
The end credits as well. Strange Currency is one of the great underrated REM songs. I was really, really quite taken by this movie, to be honest.
Yeah, to the point where I genuinely want to sit down with somebody who didn't like it and try and understand why.
Yeah, not argue with them.
Not argue with them, just to kind of go.
Yeah.
I really like it, but what didn't you like?
I could kind of get it. I mean, I think people dismissing it just offhand, bluntly, is a little. I'm not sure about that, but I think you've got to. I think you've got to know what you're letting yourself in for before watching it. Because if you were watching it blind, I think it might be a little bit, what the fuck is this?
Oh, absolutely. I can understand why people don't like it. But I think more people who actively really dislike it, because there's a lot of people who seem to be very angry about it. And it's a little bit like, I get the feeling that if you sat down with some of them, I said not have an argument with them, or just go out and go, oh, okay, and then I could walk away and go,
all right, maybe, or
all right, maybe, yeah, and everything like that, and then a little bit like, fucking hell, can you imagine if Mulholland Drive came out now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, can you imagine Mulholland Drive comes out now? And these two people just meet, and then we get a sex scene with them, all this lot, and it's directed by a guy in his 50s and stuff like that.
But I think maybe there's an element of you understand what you're going into with a Lynch movie. And
yeah, that's fair enough. But
when you're going into an Andrew Garfield movie that directed It Follows, which was the supersonic horror hit of whatever the fuck year it was out,
I know that.
It was shit. But if you're going into that expecting more of the same, and it's this weird, twisted kind of... Essentially, it's a little bit art house. It's Lynchian. It is. And I know you hear that term, but it is. It's that kind of twisty-turny, interpret it as you like kind of shit that Lynch does.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. It's a fair comment in the sense that somebody's opinion who doesn't get on with it, their opinion isn't wrong because it's not my opinion.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lynch's thing on his films is it means what it means to you.
Yeah, which is why I get so irked about people asking, what does this mean? Because his claim a lot of the time is, look, I don't know. And people go, oh, you do. He's like, no, I don't.
He knows what it means to him.
He knows I know what it means to me at the time.
But he will never kind of... He will never put his interpretation of his movies onto anybody else. He just will not disclose it. So there's a kind of thing there, isn't it?
There's that great thing that kind of... I've seen this go around where like David Lynch was being interviewed about Eraserhead, and someone's like... He's like, I think Eraserhead is a very spiritual film. And then the interviewer's like, can you explain that? And then Lynch just goes, no.
Yeah.
You know, that's fucking, like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I remember also one where, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Little Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Was talking about the end of Twin Peaks, the second series. And was saying to David Lynch, he said he was finding it quite hard to go over it. And he said, he was talking to Lynch about it, and said, I think I know what it is, 'cause I think it's about this and this and this and this. And David Lynch was nodding, and David Lynch went, no, it's not about that at all. And he's like, oh, really? And he went, and Lynch's response to that wasn't to say, apparently didn't say, no, it's not. He just went, maybe not, and walked off. And there's that magnificence that not everything has to be absolute. And again, with Under the Silver Lake, I think it's one of those movies where it's perfectly fine for it to split opinion. And if somebody doesn't like it, I will say, that's cool. I really did. That's cool. You didn't. There you go.
I mean, as a director, I'm not putting him on the same kind of plateau as David Lynch, but he has kind of achieved a similar vibe.
And he's also achieved something
more so than a lot of people that are being described as being Lynchian.
Yeah, he's also achieved something that a lot of people don't, that people fail to achieve when they try and make a Lynchian movie. If you try and make something Lynchian, it ends up looking like low-rent Lynch.
Yeah.
Which is just shit.
This like doesn't. Thing.
It feels different, and I'd like to say I was very, very taken by it.
I was really impressed by it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys liked it, considering how long it is.
Again, didn't bother me. I got really absorbed in how long it was.
How long was it?
It's 2 and a bit hours long. 2 hours 23 minutes.
I want to say 2 hours 23. Yeah.
So yeah, I was. I really 2019 it is. Yeah. Really, really enjoyed it.
I mean, it's a definite recommend, but know what you're getting into.
Yeah, absolutely. Our audience poll, definitely not shit. Well, this has changed. We looked at this earlier in the day and it was running 50-50, wasn't it? Definitely not shit, 70%. Touching cloth, 0%. Shit, 30%. And nobody went Geostorm.
It's one of those ones. It is, though. It's either you're into it or you're just not into it.
It's a Marmite movie.
Yes. Right. The question that I put out to you guys was... Let me just get to them. That was question back. That was question back. I will get to it, honestly. Our question for you this week is, which non-perceived star, name, actor/actress inclusion in a film will guarantee your watch? To read out. No, it doesn't count. It's bona fide movie star, Becky. I'll read out some of the answers we had to this. So Rick Kidd, at Rick J. Kidd, based on my letterbox stats, it appears to be John Hurt, who's my 7th most watched actor according to the site. The top 6 are all stars. Not sure that any non-star would guarantee me watching, but I must admit I'm always nice to see James Hong or Toby Jones in a film. I can think totally remember James Hong thing on that one there, yeah.
Have you seen Knowles?
No, what's Knowles?
Well, it used to be Kevin Spacey.
Yes. Ryan Giblin, at Ryan Giblin, says Ben Mendelsohn and Sean Harris. Again, both solid shouts. I think that was all the answers we had. That one. Well, yeah, no. Well, it used to be Kevin Spacey, Jordan McGrath, Bradley Whitford, or Catherine Keane. Bradley Potter. There they are, actually. Yeah. Chris Messina. What are you guys ones?
Harry was one.
Yeah,
no. But...
I don't have one because you guarantee there will be something that they do for a paycheck that you do not want to watch.
Yeah, but you watch it anyway. You just support them through their journey.
I don't know. I don't think I would. I honestly, at the moment, I don't think there is one for me.
Can I have Ben Foster? Does that count? Is he a movie star yet?
Yeah, he's a movie star.
Is he?
Yeah.
But is he though?
Yeah.
But is he though?
I can have him. And Ben Mendelsohn's one for sure. Michael Winnicott.
Adam Driver, does he count?
Yeah.
He's in a Star Wars movie now, isn't he?
If I can't have fucking Ben Foster, you can't have Adam Driver.
Adam Driver's more of a star than Ben Foster is.
Huh?
Adam Driver's more of a star than Ben Foster is.
Without
Sorry.
Question. He is.
Only recently.
He still is. He still is. So yeah, so that's cool. Right, cool. Right, we have had some questions as well. Let me just get to them. I'll get to Noel's in a second. Rick Kid. Denis Villeneuve is currently shooting Dune. His last three films, Sicario, Arrival, and Blade Runner 2049, have been 5 out of 5 classics for me. What the directors are on a hot streak of 5-star classics for you? And what is the longest streak of 5-star movies produced by a director?
Finch is on the longest streak for me. Even though, to be fair, that's only 3. But Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and Gone Girl. It's just too bad Benjamin Button's in there before Zodiac.
Yeah, that is a bit of a...
After Zodiac, even. Yeah. One day I will rewatch The Hateful Eight, because if that was a 5 out of 5, then that would be a good streak.
See, I'd love to say Tarantino on this one, but Inglourious Basterds is my least favourite, not worst. Is my least favourite Tarantino movie. So I don't think I can quite call it a 5-star movie, not even to be able to use Tarantino for it.
There's only a few directors for me that would get me to specifically watch a movie because they are the directors.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
David Lynch.
Are any of those on runs of...
I don't think Christopher Nolan's ever made a bad film, has he?
But are they all 5 stars?
Well, we got Christopher Nolan, which will like filmography.
Because I'd like to say Christopher Nolan, but I am not 100% sure that I'd class Dunkirk as a 5-star movie.
No.
Would you?
Well, we got Dunkirk, Interstellar, Dark Knight Rises, Inception, Dark Knight, Prestige. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for me. I wouldn't say he's the best actor in the world, and there aren't the best films in the world from him. But yeah, I'd say they're all up there. Probably the strongest in that bracket.
Right. Well, current directors, I think Denis Villeneuve is a very strong shout.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, you've also got Enemy and Prisoners in there as well, which I think are again, both 5-star movies. So I'd throw them. I'd say he's on a serious hot streak right now.
Yeah.
Of course, there's David Ayer.
You look a little bit ashamed to be saying that.
Nope, still a bit right.
The Arrival was shit. I heard that.
I'm saying shit.
I really disliked
Well,
Arrival.
you're wrong. Carpenter, Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, and The Thing. That's a hell of a streak, that.
Right, on Carpenter, right, can I just put it out there right now? Ian, you fucking fuck. Don't ever tweet or fuck, Carpenter, and just let it Honestly, all on was dead. Don't do it anymore. Don't do it.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Terrified.
To give it
horrible.
To give a bit of context on that, Ian put out a tweet asking for our Patreon, $2 a month, by people, for Patreon review requests, and somebody requested Mouth of Madness, and Ian responded from his own account, not the Filmmaster account, saying, "Oh fuck no, Carpenter," which came up on both of mine and Becky's notifications for Filmasters, and we both thought, shit, and checked to see if Carpenter had died.
Sorry.
I'll be careful about this kind of stuff.
I'd like to be able to say...
We're going back on topic now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'd like to be able to say Scorsese, but there's always one in there just kind of not working. So you've got Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, King of Comedy, After Hours, Colour of Money, Last Temptation of Christ, Goodfellas, Cape Fear, Age of Innocence, Casino, and that runs up to Kunda. But then you'll have people shouting out right now going, hang on a minute, New York, New York.
Are we not going on last 5?
No, just any 5,
Oh,
any
any
run.
five, okay.
Rob Reiner is the answer, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob Reiner's a very, very good choice.
Rob Reiner is for that question. We another not a question, but no message doesn't ask us to discuss something. So I'll just
That sounds ominous.
I'll just show you it next, so you can see it there. This is from somebody on Twitter. I don't want to name them just because it would seem like a naming and shaming thing, but it says, "Save the horror genre, literally the horror genre." And it is a picture of 4 movies: Hereditary, Us, Get Out, and The Witch.
The
right?
Witch.
The Witch. So yeah, and it's basically saying that, and it's kind of like I did actually respond to this. So I'll say my response, and then I'll let you guys get into the. Ian did put. Sorry, no, did put a question for the show. What the literary fuck is this literary person literally on about? I actually did put out a response to this, literally weirdly at the same time as Noel was asking us that question. I'll just find what I actually wrote, because I've forgotten it already, because my brain's a sieve. I responded with, horror doesn't need saving, it's one of the few genres that is generation-proof, unlike something, let's say, westerns. Or it doesn't need saving. It's never needed saving. It's a genre that will always, like I said, the only point of where it looked like it might need saving was in the early 90s. When apparently Scream saved horror. But I'll just point out that Scream came out in 1995, and just a couple of years before that, Candyman, one of the greatest horror movies of all time, was released.
Horror will prevail throughout. It will. But modern horror, and it being brought back into the forefront like it has. Sorry, Blumhouse has saved horror.
Blumhouse has given it a credibility again.
Yeah, it's made it like a respectable thing to be involved in.
And it's why an irritation is things like the phrase prestige horror, which I think was actually coined for Mother. A film that essentially fell flat on its arse because Aronofsky thought that he was coming to do horror but better.
Yeah.
And then Jordan Peele comes out and goes, without actually meaning to, good horror, but better than a lot of the horror you get. The thing about it is, 90% of horror movies are shit. They are.
And not now, I don't think so.
They are. 90% of horror movies are shit. But I will also posit that of the tens of thousands of movies that are made every year, right, 90% of them are shit. The problem is, with horror, you get people who will watch so much more of that shit.
Yeah. I think a lot of the big releases, like a lot of the big horror releases now, are good.
Well,
apart from the ones that are trying to be good.
We've been saying this for years, haven't we, Ian? That the fact is, at the moment, studio horror is better than independent horror.
Yeah, it is.
I bloody hell, sorry. I 100% agree with that. It's the thing is, they haven't. I mean, Blumhouse has not saved horror. It's made it, I think, more of a financial powerhouse than it has been in years past. But the thing is, I mean, horror rolls with the punches depending on what's going on with the climate of the time. And that's the thing. It's a forever kind of evolving genre that's able to do that. It's you know, I mean, like it's one of the few genres that's kind of malleable like that. You know, the late 90s was the postmodern. You had Scream, Urban Legend, I Know What You Did Last Summer. The noughties had torture porn, and kind of like J-horror remakes and things like that. And now I think maybe in the early teens, like early this decade, horror wasn't. I think that was kind of when indie horror was kind of like up there again, though, because you know, you had like Ty West and Lucky McKee and people like that doing some interesting stuff. But now it's like the small horror directors seem to be big very quickly. I mean, you look at Ari Aster, like Hereditary, it was his first fucking film. And that's supposed to be a film that saved horror cinema. If that film was out 10 years ago, it would have been a House of the Devil level small cinema release, big on DVD thing. But it's just it's horror is now seen as more financially successful, so it allows these films to kind of get a bigger step up initially, like Hereditary.
And
that's it. But I think a lot of his current run has been Blumhouse have made horror investable because they've made it profitable.
Straight up.
So, you know, they've not necessarily saved it all by themselves, but they have saved it in the sense that they've made people sit up and say, no, it's because it's making money. If, for instance, if let's say, it wouldn't happen, but as a for instance, if let's say Endgame made 100 million at the box office, didn't make 2.5 billion like it probably will do. Right. Made 100 million, and then the Spider-Man movie made 102 million. Literally, that would stop them making as many. What is it? It would start to dip down. They're not doing it. They're not doing it for artistic reasons. They're doing it because it makes a fuck ton of money. And Blumhouse have got a formula now where they can actually make less than they thought they were going to do on Happy Death Day 2 and still go, do you know what? We still might do the third because actually we've made less than we thought we were going to do, but it's still made fucking money.
Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, and I may be applying nobility to them that doesn't actually apply, but I think with Blumhouse, like they started from a small start. They didn't necessarily go into it to be. They've worked up. Yeah, they have, and they've made a massive fucking difference to the industry.
Well, can I just point out that, for instance, and I've been seeing a lot of this apparently recently, that Happy Death Day 2 flopped, right?
Really?
Yeah. There's been a lot of things saying that it flopped. 9 million budget, made 64 million.
That's not a fucking flop, is it?
No, I mean, it like in comparison to the first one, they did think it was going to they did think it was going to open bigger, and it's not done as well. But there's a difference between not doing as well as they thought and it flopping.
Yeah, which is what I'm meaning is that they thought they were going to make 150 million on that. They didn't. They made less than half of that. But for the financial thing, that film is still probably in the black.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That is it for our questions, Alan. I think.
Yep.
Yes, it is. So what are we covering next week, Ian?
Did we not have more Twitter questions? That was actually it, was it? Sorry.
Was there? I don't think there was.
Oh. Bradley wants his Remains of the Day commentary.
Oh, well, we did have another question. Sorry about that.
I'm adding his Remains of the Day thing to the Patreon pick review thing, so it'll get picked sometime, I think. Fair play, he's been asking for like a year.
Ginger Prince, TDP 73, our Star Wars bastard. Have you seen the high school who put on Alien as their school play?
Fucking incredible.
Yeah, it was. What film would you like your kids' school to do?
Zodiac.
And what role would you like your cherub to have?
I want Lottie to be John Carroll Lynch in Zodiac.
Well, following on from the Fincher thing then, I'll go Gone Girl.
What do you want Isabel to be?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah. I'll go standard answer.
What?
Blade Runner. Isabel can be Pris.
What, a dumb hobo?
Yeah. Sure she can cartwheel.
That's a low bar
She's
set
not
right
really
there.
Rachel, is she? She's not classy enough.
Opinions are low there, aren't they?
She's a fucking charm, isn't she?
On that note, Ian, what are we covering next week?
So we're gonna do the dirt.
Yep.
We're gonna do piercing.
Yep.
I'm gonna go see Dumbo.
We're probably going to go and see Dumbo.
I'm not.
You're not going to go and see Dumbo.
No.
We're going to go and see Dumbo.
Mark can go see Dumbo.
You're going to come with me.
I'm not.
You are.
I will not.
You will.
But
You will.
Unless I'm sneaking for free and not give that fucking charlatan any money, I'm not going to see it.
We're going to see Dumbo. So we're covering those three films. And I do think, because you said it previously, that Noel will be joining us for, at the very least, Piercing and Dirt.
Cool.
Dirt.
Very good.
Yes, so that was episode 295 of Film Bastards. We have a Patreon. I don't think I've mentioned it yet this week.
How much is it, man?
It's $2 a month, and you get other shows and extras on this and stuff like that. And we also have an Instagram. We each have Twitter handles. What's your Twitter handle, Rebecca?
Is it Albexy Fuzz?
I think it is, yes. What is your Twitter handle, Ian?
Ian Loring.
What is my Twitter handle? It's DudeFuzz.
Mine's mostly beer and food.
It is, yeah. Mine's mostly randomness. Yeah, iTunes reviews. We'd always like iTunes reviews. Also, as well, we'd like people to send us voicemails, so questions or thoughts or feedback or anything like that via your voicemail.
Oh, that'd be amazing. You could play them.
That is literally the point, yeah.
That'd be really good.
That's how it works.
Do that, guys.
So do that, yeah. Becky's very excited by that idea.
That'd be amazing.
Just record us a voice memo on your phone and then just email the fucker. There's a voice memo thing on iPhone, it's not hard.
Yep, so we can do all that with Instagram, website, etc. and things like that. So thank you very much for listening, guys, and we shall speak to you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.